Welcome to Undust. I'm Millie, this is Jonty.
Hi.
Thank you so much for all of the comments on our last vlog last week. We were talking about different types of places to eat, and we've learnt something this week.
Yeah, we found out that we were wrong.
Sorry.
We thought that the Zichar places were what they call the mixed vegetable rice places, and Zichar is actually where they cook it fresh, so it's not the stuff that you saw at the beginning of last week's video, sat in all of the dishes and everything. That's kind of something else, and Zichar is where you order and they cook to order.
So we've been having fun exploring, and this week we ended up somewhere a little bit off the tourist track. We tried to find places like that, like when we go on holiday, we enjoy finding places that maybe are a little bit more local, that kind of show you another, just a bit more of the local culture, I guess, and places that locals like to hang out.
There was one summer we went to Spain, and we picked out a holiday place that we knew that wasn't in like a touristy area. It's a little bit more local, which we thought would be great fun. We went with a really good friend of ours, Callum, and at one point he was like, right, I'm going to go off, going to go buy a beer. And he was gone for ages, and we were thinking, where on earth is Callum gone? And it turns out he came back. His Spanish wasn't very good. He thought he ordered a beer and a packet of crisps, and he ended up with 2 beers and a bowl of olives, and he doesn't even like olives, but he had to eat them because he ordered them, otherwise it would have been a bit weird. And then he came back after that. But yeah, we do look for those sort of places, and it's good fun.
Yeah, you kind of find a bit more of like the vibe of the place and sort of the nitty-gritty, a bit more day-to-day life. This week we ended up at the Sembawang Hot Springs, and it was really nice to see like generations of families were there, like there was grandparents with their children, and it was just really nice to see people just hanging out, spending time together, just chatting whilst at the hot springs. Really, it felt like it was just a nice place to hang out with your family and friends.
Yeah, it's strange. We mentioned to quite a few kind of local friends that we were going to head over there, and most of them, in fact none of them had ever been. They were all just like, wow, we haven't been there before. So I mean, partly I think it's because it only opened this year, 2020. The hot springs were discovered, I think, back in 1908, and over the years it had changed different purposes. I know that it had been owned by like a bottle company. It had also been used by the Japanese during the Japanese invasion. The site got bombed in the Second World War, I think 1943-ish, and it's only just been rebuilt and reopened in 2020, so I guess it's new because of that. It was just really interesting because a lot of the locals feel that they believe that it has healing or restorative properties, the water. So we saw people kind of like scooping water out and bathing themselves in it in their clothes. We saw one guy in
It's like a pop-up bath.
Yeah, it was massive.
Up to his neck, and he was just chilling in it.
Yeah, he'd filled it up with the water and he'd just jumped in and was just sat there and like trying to tell the kids not to stare.
So when we got there, we saw lots of people walking down with buckets or like washing up bowls, and we kind of wondered if we had sort of missed bringing something. We were armed with our eggs because we had heard that you could cook eggs there. But when we got there, people were just filling up the buckets, taking them to like little covered areas and just sitting in them, hanging out. But there is a little bit that you can sit in and put your feet in as well. And like John said, it's been newly refurbished and it's actually really accessible. So they've got, the whole thing is paved, so you can take buggies there, go with your whole family. There's like wheelchair access as well to all of the parts. So it's been really well thought out to be able to go with your family as well. There's a little cafe. We didn't go into it this time. It was getting a little bit late, so we had our eggs, as you'll see in the video, and then made our way home.
I put on my Instagram while we were there just like a picture of my feet in the water, and one of my friends wrote on it, I dare you to drink some of that water. It was like so many people's feet in it. It was definitely not going to happen. But I have to admit, I posted a video of me drinking the water. Dave, if you're watching, I'm sorry, I lied. That water was fresh out of my bottle. It just looked like I was drinking it. So Dave said he was going to pay me $1 Singaporean and give me a lot of respect. So I think I'm $1 down and with no respect.
We're not too sure why so many people like to cook eggs there. Maybe because it's contained and it's better than trying to cook something else there. We're not really sure, but we did it anyway, and it was quite fun. So the first one didn't really work quite so well. There's no like guidelines on how long it takes. The water's about 70 degrees, so we gave it...
It was a bit of a snotty egg.
Yeah, it looked a little bit gross. So if you...
But still...
Yeah. So we left it in and we tried again, and we were trying to go for a hard-boiled egg. The kids wanted to see how long it would take, but it was starting to get a bit late and running out of time. So I think we managed to do a successful Singaporean runny egg, hopefully.
In the UK, people would think that egg was still raw, kind of runny and everything, but and would probably think it was a bit strange. But here it is normal breakfast. Loads of people have a runny egg for breakfast. And our kids love it, fortunately, because they really enjoyed the egg. But my dad, when he was a kid, my grandma, who you would have seen on some of our previous vlogs, would serve him some runny eggs in a bowl, and he would feed it to their dog. Now, I didn't realise, he told us this as kids, I didn't realise my grandma still didn't know. So when I told her, and she was shocked, I think he got in trouble as an adult, but there you go, it's his own fault.
Never too old to be told off by your mum.
Exactly.
We took 2 trains and a bus to get there, which sounds like quite a lot sometimes, but it's not really. I mean, everything's really easy, everything runs on time. It was probably still cheaper than getting a taxi, and we had a nice view, and we got a nice little extra walk up there through all the greenery. So here's our time at the hot springs.
Sorry about the water.
The water is super hot. Ow.
We've got some eggs, and we're going to have a go at cooking them in the hot spring water.
Millie's just keeping an eye on our eggs, and the kids have come over here to try dipping their feet in the water. They've sectioned off a whole area just for feet, so that to keep it all nice and sanitary, which is pretty cool. Yeah, you can go, sweetheart. What do you think?
Like a hot tub.
Is it? Is it too hot or is it okay?
Good.
Good, is it? What do you think? Okay? Put your feet in.
It smells like eggs.
It smells like eggs in the whole place because people are cooking lots of eggs.
It's burning like a hot tub. It's 40 degrees.
You think you're going to be cooked? Is it? I want to put your hand, babe.
So these have been in hot water for about 20 minutes. We're going to pour it out. Ooh, it's very, very hot.
Oh.
So it's kind of like a Singapore soft-boiled egg, but maybe a little bit undercooked. So we're going to try again, and we're going to leave this one under the running water, which is what some people seem to be doing, and try and get a hard-boiled egg.
Mama,
Not sure how long it would take for a hard-boiled egg.
that one's mine.
It looks good though.
Oh, that's mine. I'm ready.
So this is more like a Singapore soft-boiled egg that you could traditionally have for breakfast with some dark soy. Just a little one. How does it taste? Is it good?
Good for backwash egg. Open wide. Yeah. What happened?
Boiling.
Was it too hot?
We're really enjoying having so many of you follow along with us. Thanks for all the comments. We wanted to start this up to keep in touch with family and friends back home, but we're so happy that so many of you locals as well are enjoying watching this, whether he was home for you or you're visiting for a short while. And hopefully you can kind of see things through new eyes, through how we see things, all the little details that maybe just sometimes get missed in everyday life when you're sort of busy taking the kids to school or you're going to work. So hopefully you can take a little bit of time out and try and find something to see the wonder in your day, even if it is just an everyday sort of mundane thing. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.